Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Restart session. Today, I am happy to be joined by the folks in career services. These are the ladies who spend their times, most of their time out in the associate schools, meeting with students, meeting with parents, meeting with counselors, working with them, and introducing the programs across the district to students, and they are the ones who are partly responsible for helping bring in new students with dealing with applications, enrollment, all of that good stuff. And so we're going to kind of focus on a couple areas in this particular session. One, really focus on new students. There's a whole new class of students entering these programs, and this is certainly a unique experience for them. It's a unique experience for everybody who works in the district as well, but also focus in on sophomores and the future students of Eastland-Fairfield, because this year is going to pose a challenge in terms of being able to introduce and tour and do visits and all that type of stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and I will allow you guys to introduce yourselves, and you guys can take it away.
Hi, I'm Krista Blower. I'm on the Career Services team, and I am responsible for schools at Amanda Clear Creek, Byrne Union, Fairfield Union, Liberty Union, Millersport, Whitehall, and Tays Valley.
Hi, I'm Kara Pontius. I am responsible for schools Bexley, Bloom, Carroll, Canal Winchester, Gahanna, Groveport, and Hamilton.
And I'm Holly Ryder, and I'm responsible for Pickerington Schools, Reynoldsburg Schools, and New Albany.
Great. Well, thanks guys for joining this restart session. I know people are going to appreciate being able to hear from you guys. For a lot of these new students, these incoming students, you guys are probably the most recognizable faces that they might know. So I'll pose this first question. This is going to be the first class in school history that will begin a school year completely online. And it's going to certainly make it a new experience, and it's mixed emotions, right? I mean, I think that there are people who for sure keep in mind health and safety, but there's also, I wanted to start and meet my new friends and get to know this program. So what would you guys like to say to this new group of students who are getting ready to start?
Well, we understand that you guys may have frustrations and fears. We were disappointed too, and a little bit sad that we had to move to Plan C for the beginning of the school year. But we're hoping that you guys can remain positive, and we're trying to do the same thing. We're really hopeful that this online learning is going to be temporary and that we can get you guys all back in your labs before the end of the first 9 weeks. You guys have taken a giant leap of faith in making the decision to come to the career centers, and there are going to be so many great opportunities ahead for you to excel in your career field. And all of your lab instructors and academic teachers, every one of them is preparing right now for you guys. So you're going to have a great year ahead, even if we have to transition at different points throughout this year.
So one of the things that happens during every summer in career tech, even without COVID-19 being a factor, is that families, students might be having second thoughts about coming. Certainly with the idea that this might be all online, there might be some additional thoughts about, I'm just going to withdraw and go back to my homeschool. What would you say to those families and students who might be thinking about that?
So if you got a chance to listen to the director's responses on Friday, I think Mrs. Cuffle, the director at Eastland Career Center, said it best when she said, you don't know what you don't know. There is absolutely no harm in trying an experience, and this is no different. None of us know exactly what this is going to look like. We're all treading into new territory. but I think you deserve to give this a try. Just like any other year, we tell you, give it a chance. So take the first 2 weeks and see what this is about. See what your instructors have planned for you. See if you like enjoying, or if you do enjoy learning about a career that you've chosen. This could be a really great experience for you. So there is no harm in trying. You owe it to yourself. You deserve to give yourself a chance to learn about this new opportunity. And then I want you to remember that it's our goal that this is temporary. This will not last all year, hopefully. And so it's our goal to get into Plan B, that hybrid schedule, as soon as possible. So keep that in the back of your mind as well.
I think that's important. I just had a conversation with the superintendent that will post, after yours, actually be posted on Wednesday, but, she made sure to point out that, unlike some other districts who have said that this is going to be something to go all online the entire first 9 weeks, she has made sure to say that she's, not committed. She hasn't committed that to say that. She said that this is going to be as temporary as possible. So it's important to know that this is not going to be something that the district hopes to draw out for the entire year. You said a lot of things in your statement, Kara, about why they should stick with it. And so I would want to ask this question to you guys: is what do these new students have most to be excited about during this time as they begin this new journey?
The options and the opportunities that will be available to them. Again, we're hoping that this is temporary, but the options and opportunities this has not changed. They're going to be learning about something that they feel passionate about and getting a jump start on their future. So the options and opportunities, even though we're starting differently, they're still there. These students are still going to be able to earn college credit. They're still going to be able to earn their credentials. It's just going to look a little different than it has in the past. But everything is still there that they were looking forward to last winter when they applied.
So as of right now, as new students get ready to, start this school year, what should they be taking care of right now as the school year gets ready to begin?
So I would say all the students and parents, you guys want to prepare for this year just like you would any other school year. Make sure you're taking care of that to-do list. So if you haven't ordered your uniform already, you want to make sure to order your uniform. If you haven't scheduled for academic classes, it's definitely time to take care of that. There is a computer access survey that would be great for you guys to fill out. And we do have a back to school night coming up. Some of you have already registered for that. If you have, you definitely want to make sure to attend that night. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to actually be face-to-face with the lab instructor, some academic teachers, the counselors. So that'll be a great opportunity for you. You don't want to miss it. If you weren't able to register for back to school night, and we did have to close down that registration right now because we need to make sure that we stay safe and only have a certain number of people in our buildings. So if you weren't able to register, don't worry. There's going to be other opportunities for you to get in the building too to meet your lab teacher. In fact, you can get on our website and you can find phone numbers for Eastland and Fairfield, and you can call to set up an individual kind of back to school night where you could make an appointment to meet with your lab instructor and meet with a counselor in either of those buildings. So those are some things that you're going to want to take care of. You also need to make sure that you fill out those required back to school forms, and you're going to find those forms online too. So those are definitely some things that you want to be taking care of right now before we begin school here soon.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about what this new class is made up of. This is 16 different school districts. You guys work with these students and the counselors at these home schools to get them to apply. I mean, it's a long process to get these students. It's a process that really begins as early as elementary, 8th grade when they come and tour. What are some of the things that you guys can recall that makes this new class so unique?
So these are students who are highly motivated and extremely ambitious. They have taken a giant leap of faith, like Holly mentioned earlier, and they've decided to explore a career in technical education to enhance their futures, to get a jump start on their education, to get a jump start on those careers. And so that's a bold decision that these sophomores, now juniors, have made at a very young age. And I think that that's something that needs to be kind of echoed a little bit here. That's a huge, huge thing. So I think they're brave. I think they're motivated, obviously. They've worked extremely hard to get here in many different aspects. And they're full of very innovative individuals. They've got new ideas, they've got new ambitions, they have new ideas and goals that will help them become very successful individuals in their future.
How many, just in case you know, how many new students are we expecting this school year? Do you have that number?
Yeah, so I think it's somewhere around 940, give or take. I know we've got a lot of turnover coming. We have new acceptances coming in this week as well. So I think it's somewhere around 940, and that's across the board for Eastland-Fairfield and then all of our satellites.
And this wasn't a question that I thought of before, but can a student still apply for this school year?
Yes. We're still accepting applications, I believe, through September, middle of September. So if you're out there and you think you might want to join in the fun, go ahead and submit an application. Those are found on our website.
So I think you guys kind of answered this at the beginning when you introduced yourselves, but just again, if families of new students have, or any of the students themselves have any questions or concerns, who should they contact amongst each of you?
They would contact me if you were at Amanda Clear Creek, Bern Union, Fairfield Union, Liberty Union, Millersport, Whitehall, or Taze Valley. Be Krista Blower.
So again, Caraponius, if you are in Bexley, Bloom Carroll, Canal Winchester, Gahanna, Groveport, or Hamilton school districts.
And I'm Holly Ryder, and you would contact me if you are in Pickerington School District, so Pickerington Central and Pickerington North. If you're in the Reynoldsburg School District in any of those 4 academies, and if you're in New Albany, you would contact me as well.
Wonderful. And I'll just point out that if they would go to the One Day website, onedayefcts.com, there's actually a button that says who to contact, and you guys, your contact information is listed there as well. So let's talk about sophomores in particular. This is a group that every year, these are the ones you guys were planning on working with, will still work with this school year. So they're the ones that will be making a decision about attending during next school year, which I think I can speak for everybody, which hopefully everything's back to normal, right, by then. So they're going to experience the recruiting and admissions process a little bit differently this year. What will be different?
Oh, the main thing, we won't be able to be on campus with the sophomores this year. Typically, we present in the sophomore classroom, and that's not going to be possible like it has been in the past. However, there will be opportunities for us to make contact with students virtually. So there will be a plan set in place where we will be able to help students investigate their options and opportunities we have available for them, and see if we can't help them make some choices. And it will, but most of that will all have to be done virtually.
Okay, so how do you guys plan to handle getting in front of the sophomores and their families this fall? Are any specific plans in the works?
We've talked about several different things. We'll probably work through our guidance counselors to identify the students that are sophomores that are interested in attending the Career Center in the fall of 2021, and just see, we'll work with them as individually as we possibly can, maybe help them with career assessments and try to help them, guide them to the best possible pathway.
And we're also planning for sure that we can communicate with students through email and videos, our website, social media. We'll definitely be reaching out that way. Shane is helping us, parents and students, Shane is helping us with this virtual platform so that we do have something in place to start the school year virtually. But it's our mission to get out all the options and opportunities that Eastland and Fairfield has to offer. So we're going to make sure that happens in whatever way we can. So we'll start with this virtual platform, but it is, like Krista said, we're going to start with this virtual platform, but it is important to know too that if it's at all possible for us to get into the schools, even if that's through Zoom meetings, or if we can physically get to your school, if we're in hybrid models, if your homeschool is in a hybrid model, if we're able to get out at all, then we definitely want to do that. But one way or another, whether it's virtually or in person, and maybe both, we're going to be working as hard as we can to communicate with students. Again, for sure, through email, video, website, social media, but we are working right now to come up with as many ways as possible.
What about the biggest event really for sophomores is sophomore visit days, which typically occur in November, we'll say. Any thoughts about how you guys are going to handle that? You probably don't know yet, but any thinking that you have going on right now?
Yes. So I actually communicated with my counselors this morning and I said, insert ugly cry. I want to ugly cry about this. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to have our normal sophomore visitations like we have in the past, but we're hopeful that we can implement some other visit days later in the year. Just to try to get sophomores who are interested on campus. If that's at all possible, that won't happen until, the spring probably. But currently we're working to provide a supplement to those visit days. And so like Holly had kind of mentioned, those virtual tours, we're working with Shane on a creative idea to get Eastland-Fairfield materials to you so that you can discover and learn about our programs and what we have to offer, so that all of those opportunities and options are presented to you. So although we're not going to be able to have the big sophomore visit days, we are looking at some creative options to get you to at least see the labs at some capacity.
Great. Obviously, students apply to come to Eastland-Fairfield. And this might change too. I'm not trying to make you declare anything at this point, but what does that application process look like, and when does that typically start?
Well, typically, we always open the application process at the evening of open house, which is the third Thursday, or the first Thursday in December, which is December 3rd. Typically, that's the day that it opens, and it opens that evening, and it is an online process. We don't know what open house will look like, but at the current time, that's when we anticipate opening applications.
Okay. So we covered a lot of topics, both with new students and sophomores. I'm wondering if there's anything else that we didn't cover that you want students and families to know.
Just try to remember this is hopefully temporary.
I think I'm going to echo that. Our goal is to get you in the buildings as soon as we possibly can. Obviously, your safety, our safety, everyone's safety is first and top priority, but we want you in the buildings as soon as possible. So I know that this is disappointing. We are sad too, but just try to stick it out. And hopefully this is temporary and we get you in here as fast as possible.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, career centers are designed with programs that are in high demand, right? Those workforces, the employment levels, those are all still there. That has not changed in the world. And so, you know, regardless of what this looks like in terms of for new students or future students, these programs are still going to be relevant. The training for these programs is still going to be relevant, and there's going to be jobs, college programs, apprenticeships, a lot of opportunities. So that's something that hasn't, you know, been taken away. So keep that in mind, that, you know, there's a reason why you might be interested in the program. And I think I can speak for everyone when I say that, you know, these teachers, the instructors, the staffs of these schools are going to help you get there to achieve that. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for joining me for this session. I'm sure if people have questions, they'll reach out to you and contact you, and we appreciate it. And they, if you're a sophomore, you'll see these ladies out there, and one way or the other, whether it's online or in person, they will be there to get you that information. And they're certainly here to answer your questions if you're getting ready to start school here soon at Eastland or Fairfield. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shane.